New Orleans Saints just made arguably the biggest move of the draft up to this point. They've selected potentially their next franchise quarterback at number 40 overall in the second round. Not Shadir Sanders, not Quinn Ewers, two quarterbacks the Saints have been linked to, but Tyler Shough out of the University of Louisville. Shough is one of the more polarizing prospects in this entire draft class. He's a guy who was a backup most of his collegiate career, incredible physical tools, and at the end of his career at Louisville, he had some of those highlight playmaking throws that had people seeing Josh Allen, had people seeing Jordan Love. He has that kind of talent. This is the ultimate high risk move right here by the New Orleans Saints. If Shough becomes what his potential on tape shows him to be, he could be a legitimate superstar. Let's get into a high level with Shough, and then we'll talk more about it. Let's go ahead and throw up the first graphic here. This is courtesy of NFL.com. Just this high level stuff there in front of you. You can see Louisville was his last college, 6'5", 220. His production score, you can see at 58, not great. Athleticism score is very good. Again, he is a freak when it comes to arm talent. If you go into our second chart here, you can see he's been playing collegiate football for a long time. 7 seasons he was a collegiate quarterback. He is an elder statesman, to put it mildly. You can see at the final year of his career, 2024, he was an honorable mention All ACC, one of 3 National Comeback Players of the Year. Started 12 games, 3,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 6 picks. We're talking about a guy here with elite physical arm talent. If you look at him play, and every single analyst to a man looks at him and says, he has throws that look like Josh Allen. He has throws that look like Jordan Love. He has throws that look like Patrick Mahomes in terms of having that game-breaking arm talent that drives defensive coordinators absolutely, basically bonkers. Derek Carr doesn't have this. Spencer Rattler doesn't have this. No other quarterback in this class, to be totally honest, has Shough's in terms of raw athletic arm talent anywhere remotely close. The question is he one of those guys that I mentioned, or is he Will Levis? That is the question here, and the Saints went out and made probably the biggest, most bold move we've seen in the draft up to this point by picking Tyler Shough. Definitely sends a message here from Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis to the rest of the Saints organization and the National Football League. Mize, I'm curious your thoughts on this move, but first, Saints fans, in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this massive move here by the New Orleans Saints? Obviously, a lot of people are thinking quarterback at some point. Tyler Shough probably was not on anyone's bingo card. Give us your thoughts, though. He is a freak in terms of arm talent. Do you love that? Do you hate it? Give us your thoughts on this pick by the New Orleans Saints in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on this draft pick by New Orleans?
Yeah, Nick, I like the move because I think it's good. They might have did the ordering a little bit backwards, get their tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. in the first round to protect their quarterback, get their quarterback of the future potentially here in Tyler Shough in the second round. I think he's a really interesting prospect. There's a lot of really good things when you look at him. I think when I think Tyler Shough, what he was able to do, you hear about, like you said, the elite arm talent, but sometimes I think under the radar guy, elite arm talent, I go Josh Allen and maybe the early parts of his career, but it's different than that because Shough has been, lauded that he has the touch. He's not just throwing, like fastballs out there breaking guys' fingers. He has good touch on his balls as well. So he can really, throw a good deep ball that's very catchable. Josh Allen, I think, kind of struggled that early on in his career. But I think Shough, that's one thing that he is very good at. He has the arm strength. He can get it down there. He can stretch the field for this Saints team. And I think they're going to be doing a lot of that with this new Kellen Moore-led offense. But also, at the same time, he's got the touch to put it and make it a very catchable ball, hit someone in stride, really does a lot of great things in that regard. And Shough, we're talking about what he did last year. He played some big games. He played a lot of good games against some really strong teams, notably Miami. Played really, really well. 85.3 grade for him versus the Hurricanes, who were one of the top teams in all of college football last year. Went out, battled them, dueled. So I think this is a guy, he has a lot of great stuff going on for him. He has been around for a while, so maturity is not an issue. This guy's older. He's come into the league, 25 years old, really has been around the block. He's transferred to multiple different teams. The maturity's there. I think he's going to fit in very early on, come into this Saints team. And since he's been around to so many different teams, been around college football for such a long time, I don't think there's any problem coming in day one, just earning that leadership role, trying to get this team going in the right direction. I like this pick by the Saints. I think some other picks on the board were interesting, but I think this one sounds a lot more promising, probably a much lower floor on, or much higher floor, on this one. The Saints brought in a guy who's going to be ready to work day one.
Yeah, when I look at Tyler Shough, I think to me it's I would disagree a little bit with how you kind of frame that there, but I think the overall theme here is accurate. This is a chance to be a home run hit. That's exactly what this is a listen, we're gonna try and hit this one out the park. There's a chance he becomes a superstar because he has those physical tools, like I mentioned before. And if you look at the New Orleans Saints, ever since they've gone to the Derek Carr experiment and the failures there, the biggest knock, there's a lot of knocks on Derek Carr, but one of the biggest knocks physically is he doesn't have anything he's exceptional at, right? He's decently accurate, but he's not like a Drew Brees accurate. You know, he's got a good arm, but he doesn't have a great arm. He's got some mobility, but he's not supremely mobile. He's not that big and strong, right? He has nothing he's exceptional at. And if you look at today's National Football League, elite quarterback, championship quarterback play, you have to have something exceptional. You have to have Matthew Stafford's unreal arm talent, or you have to have Patrick Mahomes' arm talent and creativity, or Josh Allen's arm talent and size. You're starting to see a theme here, right? Or Lamar Jackson's arm talent and mobility, right? It kind of comes back to, you go back to Aaron Rodgers in his prime, that incredible arm talent, right? People look at the Tom Brady example and his greatness and just think, oh, that's what you need to succeed at quarterback. Tom Brady, and you go back even further to guys like Joe Montana, that is the exception. That is not the rule. The history of success at the quarterback position in the National Football League, going back, to the 50s, the 1950s to now, is elite arm talent, good head on your shoulders, right? Shough, by all accounts, seems to have a good head on his shoulders, mature guy, obviously coming into the NFL in his mid-20s. He's going to be, I think, especially when you consider all the transferring he did, he's a grown-up. He's moved his life around a bunch. He figured it out at the end of his career in terms of being a good quarterback, good collegiate quarterback. I think he's ready to slide into an NFL offense and handle, being the quarterback. He's 25 years old, for God's sake. He should be able to handle it at this point. But that arm talent factor is something you cannot discount. Every single year, every single offseason, everyone falls in love with a quarterback, and you look at him and just say, well, he's really accurate, or he's a good leader, or he's really mobile. But if you don't have that physical arm talent, your margin for error gets a lot smaller. To give you a great example, if you don't have elite arm talent, your ceiling here, the best you could ever be, is Dak Prescott, right? Good quarterback, nothing against Prescott, really solid starter, not a championship guy, right? If you don't have elite arm talent, right, your margin for error just gets really, really, really small. The Saints have felt that more than anybody over the last few years, and they took a big shot here. I love the aggressive nature of it. Now, there's things about Tyler Shough I personally don't like as a prospect. I hope he does amazing things with the New Orleans Saints. I'm rooting for him because I think he's a great story. But I think it's very clear that Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis, they look at their landscape in the National Football League. They look at this roster and say, one thing we can't do is we can't continue to be average to above average at quarterback. We got to roll the dice, and we got to look for special, because special wins championships. And if there's one quarterback who is remaining in this draft that had a chance to be special, at least at this level, it's Tyler Shough.
Yeah, and I think those are all great things. I think he's walking into a great situation. If you look at this team here set up by the Saints, I think it's in a really good situation. The offensive line now, with the addition of Banks, looks in a much better spot. They have a great running back in Alvin Kamara. He has Brandon Cooks. He has Rashid Shaheed, who's absolutely a game breaker with his speed, his ability to get open. You got Chris Olave, a fantastic wide receiver option there as well. Jawan Johnson at tight end, nothing too shabby there. I think that's a really good option for him to come into this offense and really be good. And then the Saints on the other side, the defense, they've got a lot of great players. Everyone, I wonder if people remember Chase Young's on this team right now. Curtis Granderson, and they got two great linebackers, great safeties, just overall a really good team. And I think this is the missing piece, getting a guy. Well, first they needed a guy to help reset this offensive line. Now they got a guy to reset the quarterback position. I think this is a really well-constructed team now by the Saints. I'm excited to see how they fill it out through the rest of this draft, because I think there could be some really interesting moves ahead for the Saints.